Hey, what's up, guys? It has been a moment. Joey was gracious enough to give me Super Dragon Ball 2 to preview. This video is also going to double as a Super Dragon Ball set review. If you're not interested in that, by all means, you can stop watching. But if you want some good DBZ discussion, some ideas I've had with these Dragon Balls, by all means, stick around. But Super Dragon Ball 2, it is a +2 stage modifier for all of your attacks, and it has the added effect that the first time you use Endurance each combat, you get to add a +1 to that value. So it's going to do a good job at protecting your Dragon Balls, give you some survivability. This card just incentivizes just slugging damage out. A couple of the decks that I kind of thought would be kind of interesting with this ball would be like decks running Kami Ally, that are some sort of stage ally beat. I don't know how good that would be. Or some of the Namekian decks. Namekian Physical's kind of been lacking for a while outside of imposing Gohan. This card would do a really good job at kind of just giving that extra bit of damage that like it's lacking compared to like Saiyan or Orange, even Red with like Ruthless Mastery. And I really liked that you can grab this ball with Cell Junior level 1 for what it's worth. There's a couple other MPs that could maybe see splashing this deck or this ball in. It's kind of hard to fit it. Being a Dragon Ball, most decks are not searching Dragon Balls, so I'm kind of curious to see if we get more Dragon Ball support outside of Namekian. I think that would be a really good build path. I think the biggest issue is once you start doing that, running into problems with like the Namek Dragon Balls. But not a bad ball. I think it's pretty decent. I think if you're going to be going like a ball out build, you're not going to really like this ball all that much for the mod. But I say that, you know, Birder level 1, or sorry, Birder Ally in the early sets of the game was actually really powerful for that extra stack stage mod. So this will give you ways to mitigate stage beats, or you know, when you're playing against them, or you know, push your own. But yeah, like I said, I mostly don't see this ball getting played outside of Namekian stage beats, or decks that are really trying to run all Super Dragon Balls. To go into the whole set of Super Dragon Balls, I really think balls 1 and 4 are why you're going to be playing these, and I'll get to 4 in a sec here. But 1 is incredible. This kills all copies of a card in play. Just kills all of them. A lot of times this is only going to really be hitting one card. I still think this is better than Namek Dragon Ball 4. I used to splash Namek 4 in a lot of decks. Depending on the deck that you play this in or against, it can be really devastating. I think the fact that this kills attached cards gives some incentive to run this in Namekian. One of the thoughts that I had was running like a Knowledge Namekian, running this ball as just my wall breaker tech. Thought that would be really good. I also really like the idea of running a Saiyan Trunks ball deck. I know there has been, I think Chris Lamkin at one point mentioned a Saiyan Trunks ball, but I really like the idea of running this ball just splashing it in like all decks, honestly. Especially if I'm not running a lot of board myself. This ball's great. I love this ball. And if you have ways to shuffle it, which the Super Dragon Balls do, really good ball. Ball 3, this card, you know, it's kind of okay. I mean, drawing a card, this is the only ball that draws a card. Oh, sorry, there's 2 balls in this set that draw cards. Honestly, the pile banishing and the stage gain on it's kind of just gravy. You know, you're still going to have the Namek balls for those decks that are really trying to push anger beats. I mean, Namek 3 is still far better than this for just the deep dive. But this ball is really not that bad. We've learned that we've learned that pile utility is really powerful. We've learned that stage gain is still really powerful, especially with decks like Enhanced Broly. A lot of the manipulative decks we've learned kind of the power of stage gain and banishment. So this ball is going to kind of supplement. I don't know if I would run this ball over like ball 5 Earth. I think ball 5 Earth is just kind of better if you're going for the pile hate mechanic, but this is an option if you're trying to be a bit more aggressive and you want to run maybe the singular pile hate ball if you have some sort of synergy with it. I could say this kind of gets some play in black to work with some of its Banish Zone targeting effects and such. And you'll probably see this in decks that are trying to run all 7 Super Balls. Really interesting ball, nonetheless. What is cool about it, or what is kind of interesting about it, is this kind of it's red panic proof, so you can't banish cards from your own pile, which is kind of a bummer. But just something to consider on the combo table. But the ball 4, this and ball 1 are why you're going to play these balls. If you're definitely going to see a lot of decks splashing ball 1 in. Ball 4, this is going to, So this is going to open up an interesting debate between Namek 7 and Super Dragon Ball 4. The decks that are trying to think, like decks that really need that deck shuffle from the shuffling the 4 cards in are going to gravitate towards the Super Dragon Ball 4, and that they really want to play that Ball 1. Namek 7 is still far and away probably the better ball, but Namek 7 has a lot more of a consequence if it's taken from you. This Ball 4 doesn't really so much have a consequence. The value isn't immediate. The main value is the deck shuffle. And I think this is going to make a splash of a lot of decks. One deck that I'm thinking about it already is my Enhanced Future Gohan deck. That deck very much needs deck shuffles. So I could see myself splashing this ball and another ball, the next ball I'll get to, into there. Just a lot of decks need that shuffle are going to be running this card. It's really good. Add some survivability. So far I'm really seeing that these Super Dragon Balls, my thoughts are that you're just kind of be more camping. I really like that the Ball 2 that I previewed isn't a level changing ball. It allows kind of more incentive for blue dominance builds to run, or like a blue Frieza, or just Frieza in general to like run these balls, because you don't have to worry about getting Ball 2'd. Same thing, any deck that could, I mean, there's going to still be decks that are pushing leveling with this, but the fact that like you won't get de-leveled by any of the balls is really nice as the user. So most of these balls are pretty low consequence if they get taken from you, which is nice. Not to say that their effects aren't good. Ball 5, honestly, the anger is kind of whatever on it. It's mostly that shuffle. I mean, you're going to be looping Ball 1 and 4 with this, primarily. Or you can use it as ball utility yourself, which is good. I'm mostly going to be, personally, if I'm not playing the Super Dragon Balls in like Enlightened Mastery, or like Knowledge Mastery just in Namekian, where I'm going to be actively getting the ball shuffles, I'm going to be loving Ball 5 to recycle 1 and 4. Super silly. Again, another shuffle. A lot of decks that are going to be wanting deck shuffles are going to be liking like Ball 4, 5, and 1 to just keep looping cards back in their deck, keep board clearing. Really powerful. I mean, decks that are worried about wall break are going to run 1. But 5 having a little anger utility is not the worst in the world. But 6 is really cool. People are kind of crapping on 6. Specifically, the deck that I really like with this is a Menace deck. I could see like Raditz or Trunks. Trunks camping the level Sword 1. Okay, my images aren't going to load, but Trunks camping Sword 1 from Vengeance. Every time you play a Sword card, Rejuvenate 1 with Menace, and then running this ball on top of it for some extra anger control. This ball giving anger control outside of combat is incredibly good. Lowering it, like people are talking about how it's not going to be necessarily as amazing as like a Ball 2. Yeah, but you also, having this ball as an option gives you a 3 anger action potential if you're able to play the ball in combat. It gives you, you can play anti-anger without worrying about being Ball 2'd up or down, Earth 2 or Namek 2. Like I said, the decks that are going to gravitate towards these balls because of this ball still getting you some anger support, or anger hate support, are going to be like those decks that are like Dominance or Frieza, or like there are going to be decks that I think are going to cheese splash Super Dragon Ball 6, and I think Physical Beats decks are going to love this ball. I think, like I said, the Menace decks are going to like this ball. There was talk about ally decks. I could see some camp decks running this ball too, as well, as like a way to just keep you on level 1. I can't really think of too many MPs that struggle with staying on 1, but it is kind of an option for you. Like decks like maybe Kami or Krillin occasionally can get bumped up by anger slowly. Trying to think of anybody else who's going to camp 1. I could see like a Gotenks deck that uses this ball to keep yourself on 1 as well. Would be kind of fun. Gotenks ball is a really neat deck as well. So I really like this ball. I think people are going to be a little harsher on it because it's not a straight up lower level, but a 3 anger anti-anger outside of combat is actually way better than I think people are giving it credit for. I think this ball is really good. Not necessarily why I would always pick this Super Dragon Ball set, but again, if there's those certain specific decks that are not wanting to be hit by their own ball too, if it gets captured, they're going to run this ball. So that's probably part of the reason why there's less anger support on these balls than the other ones. And then ball 7, of course, this ball does draw you a card if you play it from your hand, and you get to use a critical damage effect. So between this and ball 5, you have a lot of ball capping and ball utility. I think whenever you need it, critical damage effect is really good. And like I said, most of these balls aren't like immediately that detrimental to your deck, depending on how you build it. I mean, if you're a camping deck, like getting your anger lower doesn't matter. If they just draw a card, it's kind of like whatever, one card. You're not getting a bunch of anger off this ball. The shuffle's not always an immediate like, oh shit, I'm in peril in the middle of combat. It's like most of these effects are very very subtle about how their power is kind of going. The two biggest ones that you got to worry about is if you're going to play a full 7 set, you got to worry about playing ball 5 at the right time and ball 7 at the right time. I mean, these balls can really flip who has all the Dragon Balls. The ball 7 at any point being capped turns into a double ball cap. So ball 5 is a pseudo triple ball cap / take 3 balls off, take one off the table if they take ball 7 first. So you're gonna have to play smart if you want to ball out with these. I think the main utility in these is just looping 1, 4, and maybe 6, depending on the matchup, to just kind of control anger a bit. I think each kind of offers some like little bit of archetype support. Like I said, the ball 2 with like Namekian Stage Beats, Cell Jr., the ball 6 with Stage Lost decks, Stage Beats decks, Dominance decks, camp decks, certain level camp decks don't want to be ball 2'd. I really, really like this though. I really like these balls. I think they're well designed. Honestly, I just wish they got rid of all that. If I could change any of them, I'd change ball 5 to just like not do anything with anger, or just straight up only lower anger. I would love it. I don't think these should really have any anger support on them, but whatever. Not the worst. I think these are going to be a really nice middle ground. Earth balls are quicker at bowling out, but these give you a lot of ball control, especially for styles that don't have that, like blue and black. Kind of black. Black's got crits in certain decks. They also do give you this ball 4. Like I said, the deck shuffle is going to be really powerful for a lot of stuff. There's a lot of reasons to run these balls. I love the ball 1. I think the ball 1's the best ball of the batch. This is going to be a staple card for a long time. I think just going forward, there's no reason not to run this ball in a lot of decks, unless you just really already have all your utility and your tech squared off. I'm going to be splashing this in a lot of decks. I'm really looking forward to building, like I said, the Trunks deck. I'm going to make some sort of Enlightened deck, maybe do Enlightened Piccolo. Would be kind of fun. Or like Enlightened Cell. I really want to do a deck that uses this ball 2. I want to do like just a Stage Beats ball out deck that is Namekian as well. Maybe like a red Ruthless Vegeta or something would be really fun with this ball, I think. I think the biggest bummer is that ball 3 does not banish panics. Of course, I mean, I'm kind of happy for that it doesn't work that way, but just something to think about. But anyway, I really like this ball set. There are plenty of other decks. I think a lot of people are just going to be splashing a couple of the balls and trying it out. I'm going to also try Blue Frieza with these balls, because you don't have a ball 2 to get screwed by. It's going to free up a lot of deck space for some of the decks that I'm thinking about. I'm going to try swapping out Namek balls out of a couple decks that I was running in like red and blue and try these out and see what I think. But anyway, guys, hope you're getting out there, playing, testing. I'm really busy, so I'm not doing as much, but I will occasionally here and there. Anyway, guys, take it easy. Peace.